What do you think about property managers? I don't like property managers. I want to buy a few apartments, but don't have the time to manage the properties. Yeah, Patrick, that's the biggest problem. And just in all honesty, I'm very close to selling my properties in Kansas City. I started selling them a couple years ago because, again, we got to buy cheap and sell expensive. And so when I started to see that things were getting expensive again, I started to sell. But I still do own a few properties there, and I'm just kind of had it up to here, with the property manager, and so I'm just like, it's just not worth my time. If I had more time, if I wasn't doing the YouTube channel, and if I wasn't, helping out family members and doing these things, I would self-manage. And even if I was in Columbia, I'd still self-manage in Kansas City. It's totally doable. In fact, Hartman, he owns tons of properties and he self-manages almost all of them. And he has this investor network, not just with his business, but outside of that, where they kind of all refer each other to different handyman and electricians and stuff that can just handle the maintenance stuff real quick. And they kind of eliminate the need for that property manager. And he's had a lot of success doing that. So I honestly, I think that's the way properties work the best. And you don't have to have a lot of time, just maybe a few hours a month is all, as long as you're doing a good inspection on the property up front. And that might be why maybe in the next downturn, when you guys consider real estate, maybe look at buying a house that's a little newer, and therefore you wouldn't have the maintenance issues. If you don't have the maintenance issues, it's just about collecting rent. And as long as you got the right tenant, well, let me say it a different way. As long as you got the right property in the right neighborhood that attracts the right tenant, self-management is not a big deal. It's really not. It's just when you're dealing with these property managers that they just, I think right now, in all honesty, because of COVID, the property managers have taken a big hit. And that is a terrible business, even without COVID. They just can't make money. The only way they can make money is if they do a poor job, if they give poor service to the actual tenants, or they rip you off. That's the only way they can make money. That's their business model. And I don't think anyone goes into the business with malicious intent. I think they go into the business thinking they can make money, and they just don't. They haven't worked the numbers. And then once they go in and start the business and start taking on all these properties and lease out an office and employees, then all of a sudden they look around at their QuickBooks and their P&L and they're like, whoa, wait a minute here. We can't make money. We can't, even if we scale it, the more we scale it, the more money we lose. And then they get themselves between a rock and a hard place where they try to use all this technology. Oh, we got these iPads, or we got this new technology that'll allow us to do this, this, and this, and this, to where we have a tenant portal, or they don't have to talk to human beings, and they can just schedule their own maintenance and blah, 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 blah. Listen, I've been in real estate since 2012. I have heard that, I don't want to call it BS, but I've heard that sales pitch over and over and over and over and over and over again, where there's always a new technology that's going to revolutionize the property management business. But at the end of the day, it's a people business. It's a face-to-face people on the phone, collecting rent, marketing the property, having subcontractors go out there and do the maintenance. You can't turn that into an app. You can't Uberize, you can't Amazon a property management company. It is what it is. It's the same thing 100 years ago, and 100 years from now, it's going to be the same business, and it's going to be a crappy business 100 years from now as well. Now, don't get me wrong. There are definitely property managers out there that are fantastic and that are awesome, but they're far and few between, and you got to kiss a lot of frogs. And right now, with as much as I have going on, I just don't have time to kiss any frogs. And so that's why I'm kind of thinking about selling those properties. But that was a long-winded answer. I got way off on a tangent there. But that's what I think of property managers. You got a thorough answer right there, Patrick. So I would try to self-manage. But I wouldn't deter that. I wouldn't allow that to deter you from buying properties if you can get them at the right price. Remember, you got to buy things when they're cheap. If you can get them at the right price, whether it's a good price for the cash flow, good price for the debt, or a combination of all three things, then don't let the property management deter you, but do take it into consideration. Know that optimal situation is you managing it yourself. And then if you have to find a property manager, it's just going to take you some time. It's doable, but it's going to take you time. And you'll have a great one for 3 years, and then they'll start to suck. You'll have to fire them, and you'll have to kiss frogs for another 6 months to get another one in there. So that's the downside to rental properties.